Hello everyone and welcome to GW2 Lore Summary Episode 5, this time in Caledon Forest. I should apologise for the massive delay there's been in the videos. I was away in India for like 3 months or so. So I've been away from YouTube unfortunately, but I'm back now and hopefully going to finish this series and start some new ones, I guess. I've missed loads. I missed like pretty much everything from Flame Frost. So when I did that initial thing on it, it was good, and then I was updating, and then I just missed everything. And Super Adventure Box, which looked amazing. So I'm pretty gutted about that, but hopefully, you know, I'll keep up to date with the other things now. So anyway, I digress. We're in Caledon Forest today. According to the in-game description, Caledon Forest contains many temple ruins and is inhabited by great cats, as they are called by Gullik Oddsson, who went hunting there once for the cat's pelts. Deal Keen has visited this site in the past as well. The Grove, which is the Safari capital, is located at the southern end of the forest. Sylvari characters will find themselves here after completing their introductory story. So it's the Sylvari starting area, just the west of Metrical Province, which I looked at last time. Cheeky plug if you haven't seen it yet. And this pretty much explains it there, really. Dougal and Gullik were characters from Ghost of Ascalon novel. Dougal was like the main character, he was human thief. And Gullik's a male Norn warrior. He was pretty crazy, but a bit of a legend warrior in terms of the lore. So, yeah, it's kind of the reference there. And the name itself, I just read some stuff on the wiki to do with this, but Caledon is like a grey-green colour, which would help explain some of the landscape. There's also Caledonia, was like the Roman name for Scotland. So a lot of like the forest that they, you know, recently tried to restore and things that used to cover Scotland, that would explain, you know, the forest element of here. And then there's New Caledonia in the Pacific, which apparently has a lot of the same features as this area. I say the same, obviously there's not like some weird Azura thing walking around as far as I know. Who knows? But yeah, that's where the name comes from. So that's in a nutshell. There's quite a lot of links to Guild Wars 1 actually. I was surprised I was looking through it. I thought, like, you know, Sylvari knew, but actually there's quite a few in this area. So there are a couple of explorable areas in Guild Wars 1 which are occupied. Arbor Bay and Riverside Province. Arbor Bay was like kind of this lower portion here, I suppose, came up to around here, maybe a bit higher than that actually. And then you have Riverside Province, which is the northern area of here. I think the I'm going to Kessex there, yeah. It's the north. It's basically the two parts. There's obviously bits that weren't in it. Arbor Bay had like numerous crates, so there's still crates and stuff around here now. Simians and Windriders, but its most significant feature was the fact that you could find Ventari here. And he was on like a small island in the middle of the lake, which actually, now I think about it, could be where the Sounders are. I don't think so. No, I don't think it is, but that would kind of be cool. So for those of you who don't know, Ventari was this wise old centaur who, along with Ronan, a human, they nurtured this seed that Ronan found in the cave, and they were both, you know, kind of sick of conflict, and they didn't enjoy the way that human centaurs were at war with each other, and the way there was just always violence. So they created this sanctuary and nurtured this seed, which would eventually become the Pale Tree. And of course, when Ventari died as well, he left his tablet behind, which the teachings which he left behind, Sylvari follow as kind of their moral and ethical code. Well, except for the Nightmare Court, but yeah, they kind of follow that as their teachings. So yeah, it was a pretty cool area for that. You could find him there. Apart from that, Arbor Bay, what else did it have? It had a dungeon called Shards of Ore, which you could access like in the south, which was featured interaction between Corsairs, who are pirates, and you mainly count them in Alona, but you did see them elsewhere, and Orion Undead leaders. I don't really know the ins and outs of that one actually. I didn't ever do that dungeon, but I know it was around here, to the south of the zone, probably somewhere around here or something. Yeah, maybe a bit further. And then there was a little outpost called Vlox's Falls, which is full of impressive waterfalls, So again, tying into the scenery here. And the local gate led to an extensive mining operation that was overrun by exiled Stone Summit dwarves. And I can't remember what I've said, but these were Stone Summit were in civil war with the Deldrimor dwarves, who were kind of like, in inverted commas, the good dwarves, because they work with you, the heroes, you know. So yeah, that's kind of it. Oh, and also Twilight Arbor is the name of the dungeon here, as I'm sure some of you know. Up here, yeah. So I'm guessing they got the name from Arbor Bay, or part of the name from there. So that's kind of like the southern bit. The northern bit was Riverside Province, and this was a mission in Guild Wars 1, and later it became an explorable area. And it consisted of like Crichton settlements surrounded by marshland, but the most significant thing was the White Mantle presence here. They had something called the Temple of the Unseen, which was found here, and it was like the White Mantle's main base and a place of work to worship the Mursat, who were their unseen gods. I did mention them briefly, but so I won't go into that too much. I'll talk about it more when we go to see the thing anyway. So that's pretty much the general links. Now I'm at the pretty much at the Titan Staircase waypoint. Now there isn't really anything to say about this. I guess it might refer to the Titans from Guild Wars 1 who you fought at the end of Prophecies, or towards the end of Prophecies, and these were the things that the Flame Legion worshipped as their gods. But you know, it doesn't. There's nothing to exactly point to that, so they're carved away, I guess. It's just quite impressive boulders, really. But the main thing around here is the Dominion of Winds, which I can't actually get into yet, but you can see the border here, and that's going to be this large area here. And the most significant thing is these blokes here. Now, this is these avian-like creatures. These are called Tengu. Oh, I don't want to have to defeat him. Oh, hang on. I'm just going to turn this on. Yeah, so you mainly came across them in Cantha in the first game. I mean, you did find them in other places. They were pretty isolationist. You came across like good and bad tribes in the game. One of like the heroes, this guy Talon Silverwing, could accompany you as a henchman in the game. But this is one of the few locations in Guild Wars 2 where you can come across them. And their home, as I mentioned before, is the Dominion of Winds, and it's massive. You can see this huge walled-off area here, and this will include like a lot of Tengu that have fled from Cantha, particularly. There was Emperor Asuku, who's I think the current emperor still, Cantha. Yeah, I think he is. He basically wanted to get rid of all non-humans out of Cantha, very xenophobic and isolationist, so he drove a lot of the races away, and the Tengu were apparently the last to leave the area, which is why people can tell what's going on in Cantha, at least to some extent. And I guess they just talk about the Dominion of Winds. Venerable Silverwing, here you go. Yeah, led our people through ways of worry and corruption. We honour our ancestors by staying true to their vision. So they have quite a neutral outlook, but there's quite a few strong rumors they'll be a playable race. But yeah, this is one of the places one of the few places you'll encounter them. And I guess if you do it really early on, you'd probably be like, what? Because you don't really hear anything else about them. But yeah, and that's Dominion of Winds. So the last thing I want to show you, this is the main thing, is the Ruins of the Unseen. That would be the best waypoint to go to, I guess, this one. So this is probably the most significant location in the area, because this kind of was the crux of the Riverside Province mission. You had to steal the Scepter of Ore, which played like a massive part in the storyline of Prophecies. And as I said, it used to be the White Mantle's main base here, called the Temple of the Unseen. Obviously, it's become ruins now over 250 years. And now I think it's mainly Script that inhabit it now. And the Azura kind of have a presence there, studying the region. I think I don't actually know where it is or how to get to it. I think I've done it before, but I can't remember. That's good, isn't it? But basically, yeah, the last thing to say about it is there's an Explorer achievement called Don't Touch the Shiny, which I think is Explorer, probably somewhere down here. Yeah, that's here, and basically it takes you into this cave in this area, and you end up fighting Azuran golems like these ones called Eyes of the Unseen, which is kind of strange. The Azura would know about it when they're not mentioning anything, but anyway, it's quite interesting, and it's almost definitely a reference to the Musat who are worshipped here. And I don't know if you can really tell by these ruins. I guess they just look pretty generic, yeah. You see the script presence there, or the drunk metal, but yeah, this used to be where the Musat were worshipped. This is like the HQ for the White Mantle, so how the mighty have fallen. Anyway, that's pretty much Caledon Forest. Not much to say, I'm afraid. Next one, maybe a bit more. If they're going to be really short and there's not much, I might try and roll a couple into one. But I kind of like having a separate episode for each area, so I'll try my best to keep on with this. But anyway, thank you very much for watching, and sorry for the delay, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!